Good evening to episode. Could be 21, could be 22. I've had a rough night. So, welcome anyway. Back to another live chat with the DMC crew. As always, I'm joined by my cohorts, Mr. Martin there. Good evening, Martin.
Evening, people. Are you all right?
Mr. Laszlo Patsky. Laz, good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Collectibles. And I've got to change that name from Top Restorer to Mr. Luke Sampson from whichever channel he's got going this week. Are we
Got the old channel back, PJ.
that's rival?
Evening, everybody.
So good evening to people in the chat. I'm sorry that we're running late. I've been doing my second-hand job as a taxi driver and didn't get back till a little later than was expected. So good evening to Mick, good evening to Kev, good evening to Ian, good evening to John.
Evening, everybody, people.
Evening, everyone.
I've said Ian, yes, and Ian. Firstly, thank you to everybody that left a kind message on my channel. I do feel a day or a year older than I did last year. It's in the big 6-0, so much appreciated. We had a cracking night. Martin was up here, so was Luke. Lee from Diecast Fixer Uppers. We all went out for a meal. We had a cracking night. I can't thank the boys enough. It was brilliant. One of the best parties I've ever been to, and it was mine. Just talk about blowing your own trumpet. There you go. So we had a cracking night. So we have got a bit of a schedule. It's not like us. We kind of just play it by ear. So we're going to go through all the bump first. Then we'll go through what we're going to talk about, and we'll try and split this up into 15-minute sections to cover our 2-hour period. So, first of all, my thanks go to Ian, Laz, Luke, Martin, Tony, Colin, Johan, Lee, Les Miller for being last month's, and some of those are this month's benefactors. Each of these chaps will donate a little money to our PayPal account. Excuse me, anything between £2 and £5 is what we advocate for. We don't want people to break the bank. So if you want to help us support this channel and help pay the licensing costs, you can go to paypal.me/DMC admin, all one word. So thank you for that. And then what we'll do now, I'll just bring up this menu that we've put together, and then we've got an intermission card. So these are our topics that we're going to be covering. What's on the bench? So we're going to go around the houses as we do every week. Each of us from going forward will pick a featured model. It doesn't have to be a model that somebody's restored. It could be a favourite model that they own. It doesn't even have to be a die-cast model. It could be any. Martin does various models, so it can be anything that Martin's chosen. One from the vault is one for us to bring back that we've restored. So the boys can choose any of the vehicles they've got in the vault, and we'll have a little chat about it, and all the people can say they've got one and what they've done with their version, etc. Tools, methods, and practices. This is where we get into the mechanics of how we go about doing things, and if anybody wants to request that we go over something more than once, we've already seen somebody talk about spraying. We can go over that. Trade and exchange. These next two are pretty much for the chat. So if you want to, I think we were classing it as I think Ian mentioned it, something like a swap shop. So if you want to come into the chat and you've got a vehicle that you're prepared to swap with anybody else, let us know, and one of us will play post office, and as long as it's in the UK, we'll have to take considerations if it's going to cost us more than our licensing fee, but we'll take that on board. Repair shop. I think we kind of put this down as how do you solve a problem, or if you've got a problem, let us know and we'll talk about it in the repair shop. Or if you've found a way of doing something, we'll talk about it there. The last two, number 7, purchase of the week. So this can be any purchase. It can be a new kind of spray. It can be a new tool. It can be a new die-cast model, anything of that nature. And then finally, the one that went really well last time we did this was the DMC Facebook members builds. So I'll share my screen and we'll go through some of the posts that we've got on our Facebook community page. So I hope that all makes sense. I hope that kind of fits into a nice little schedule. The Gargoyles Den Diecast. Good evening. Whoever the Gargoyles Den Diecast is, welcome along. Welcome to our little centre of the universe. So, here we go with topic number one, boys. The round the bench. So let's bring up our intermission cut. Whether this works well or not, we'll soon find out. So we've got some music somewhere. I had this all to plan. But then I went out and got absolutely K-Line last night. So here we go. Right, that was almost semi to absolutely pathetically professional, but well, it's a work in progress. Work in progress. So round the benches, and I've said enough now. Martin, Governor, what are you working on? What have you been working on? What's to come?
What I am working on currently is trying to get the lesson 4 finished. Hopefully, I've got a full day on it tomorrow, so it should be done tomorrow. Stroke Tuesday. So that's that one, and I'm working on a Dinky Toys Bedford. No, Dinky Toys Ford 600 D600 tip truck. Working on that. I've got the donation of purchases coming up the week after next, and then I'm digging out stuff to do in January. So that's where I am at the moment. Oh, go back a bit, PJ. That was better. Go back a bit. That's it.
Was that a better screen?
That's it. That's perfect. Perfect.
That's just bringing up some highlights on the chat. So, well, that's good. So we can
leave that like that. That's, we can see everybody.
Yes.
Laz is gone.
Yeah, in this way. Yes.
Right.
Right.
Has that now gone skew with for you again now, Martin? That Laz has changed his.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine.
You can't trust the Europeans. That's
no.
Speaking of which, Laz, my good friend, what have been? You're very quiet again, so you may have to shout a bit.
How's quality now? How is it? Is it still quiet?
No,
it's okay.
Perfect.
It's okay.
So I just finished a Lesney Matchbox Mercedes today, and the Trohamven, I think. Again, Lesney Matchbox, and I put Mersey Tunnel decals on it.
Yeah.
And the Matchbox Lesney 4GT 40 as well, I finished today. That's gonna be, I guess, next week's video on the channel. And I have a Matchbox Fiat 131 on the way. And that's it for this week.
Okay, let's go to a microphone. Hopefully that is working. Luke, what have you been up to this week, son?
How are we doing, everyone? I'm still working on the Dodge Charger. There's no video last week. I've been a busy boy. The castings in undercoat. I think some of you guys had seen what I've done to the front. That was made out of body filler. That's just going to surround the Charger once it's sitting, or the blower once it's sitting through the top. Now, I had an hour before spare, so I've just been making exhaust for it.
Nice. Nice.
They're going to sit on the base plate underneath when they're done. These are just made out of just some wire. So they're going to go on the base plate. And I have these were 3D printed. These were sorry. So that's the supercharger part.
Yeah, nice.
I've got the throttle bodies there. That's the top hat for it. I've chromed these today, but I won't touch them until tomorrow. Just give them plenty of time to go off. And then I will be putting some fuel lines and breather pipes on this before it goes in the car. And then I've got the week after, hopefully. And Martin, you've done one of these recently, the old Rover.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
The glass has gone a little bit at the back, but I'm not too bothered about that. It'll still clean up nice, so I will be doing that one.
Yeah.
As soon as I finish the charger. So, and that's me.
I think that one is that the Rover. Is that Rover? Is that the light one, Luke?
It is, mate. It's the same one you did, because you had some problems with the back screen, didn't you?
Yeah, because they tend to break with a lot of use because of the way they cut out the screen at the back to put the transit light things. So yeah, they're very cool.
So I'm gonna print set of wheels off for it. I'm not gonna do a great deal to that. Just give it a nice paint job and a nice period wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, great.
Nice one. Me, myself, and I've actually did a bit of die casting, which was unusual. The 3-wheel, the less than 4 challenge, I've picked up on a little Triumph and sidecar, which I'm currently working on. It's been stripped and cleaned up.
Nice,
It's in the handlebars, got to make. So it's still hopefully, what are we, the 15th? We've got 3 days to get it done and finished. So basically, what I'm going to do with the handlebars is I've got some heat shrink tubing and a paper clip, and I'm going to cut a couple of pieces off and put them on to make them look like hand grips. And then once it's been glued on, we'll give it a pretty job, obviously, and then enhance it with a bit of chrome and paint the mud guards, paint the registration plate black and something along them lines. So that's my little project. We're still working on the 3D spare parts that was shown to Martin last night. We got some samples of what we can do now. So there was that. What else brings to mind? From a group point of view, we were actually discussing about merchandise last week. Well, sorry, not last week, last night. So we may be looking down that route. Perhaps we need a couple of 100 more subscribers first. So if you want merchandise, get us about 300 more subscribers, and that'd be superb. Then we'll take it from there. We've also maybe put a competition out where we're not sure what the prize is going to be yet, but we may be looking for a new badge. If we were to go down the merchandising route, the old DMC logo is a little bit too dark to put on a shirt. So you want something nice and bright like Lazzy's got on his Laszlo Collectibles t-shirts. So I've got some samples. If I can find them, I'll just share my screen. Let's see if we can do this. Don't know if you can see that. Anybody see that badge? Yeah, okay. So this was suggested by an AI software program. So there's something like that. Ignore I don't know how it's got the spelling so wrong for 2 N's in community.
I don't see it.
You can't see it. No. Okay. What I'll do is I'll let me. Oh, that might be better. Can you see that now?
Yes.
There we go. Right. Okay. So this was suggested by a chat AI application that we've used for creating questions. So there's something along these kind of lines that we might be looking at. As you can see, there's
That's a nice one.
a bit bright.
I like that second
one. Yeah, that's it's a truck. They've taken one L out there and put an extra N in there for whatever bizarre reason. And then there's that one at the top there. And I could and it says upgrade to Chat GPT Plus or try again tomorrow after 20 to 4 tomorrow afternoon before it'll suggest any more pictures. So yeah, that's what we're kind of looking for, something a little bit brighter that we can put on a t-shirt. If you're interested, send us a picture and we'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, good.
Right. Anything more from around the workshop, around the bench this week?
No, I think we're off.
No.
Feeling more
Right.
getting time for Christmas, getting all these decorations up tomorrow, I suppose.
Yeah. Right. Let's move along at pace then, chaps. Right, we're absolutely flying now with this. With this. Let me just featured model. Right. So not really an history lesson this, but I thought I'd go. I asked Luke if he'd have a look at pulling something from the vault that he's done. It's a bit unfair to drop the bombshell on lads because he wasn't entirely sure what categories were selected. So, and Martin's been travelling back today. So, one of my favourite models. I haven't actually restored one as yet, but I was very fortunate that Martin donated to me yesterday a Shadow Mobile 2. This is the one that Martin's given me. I've got he's given me the tyres, the tracks, and the Shadow 2 logos to replace them. So this is one that I'm going to be really looking forward to doing. I have got a previous version. So here's one that is complete with the spin mechanism, and it fires a missile off the top that looks really bad. I can imagine doing something like that on Phoenix Nights, but let's put that back down. So it fires a rocket. You'd never get away with making something like this nowadays because kids would be losing eyes, dogs would be shot, and all sorts. So they would make these nowadays. Well, certainly not with that mechanism.
That's when toys were fun money.
This was when they were worth the weight in gold.
Yeah.
I'll just compare the tyres, and there's a good comparison because these are different models, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
If you see the top, actually, Ian, who is in the chat, sent me a breakdown of all the different versions. So you can see my version got the brown wheels.
Yeah.
The version underneath has got the green wheels.
Right. Yeah.
And then to top it all off, I've also got a replica, and that is a Shadow Mobile one, but you can see that is a lot bigger than the standard ones. This is from a company in China. I'll tell you what they were called. Product Enterprises Limited, 2005. Granada Ventures, 2005, made in China.
Yeah, didn't they do the and everything else?
I've got the skydiver upstairs as well that they did.
Nice.
But this, I love this. I love these models. There's something tactile about them. With the dinky versions, you've got that mechanism, that touch and feel of it doing something. It'll roll. It'll do everything like. So that they're my favourite vehicles. If anybody in the chat wants to, the chat's gone very quiet. The last post I saw was from Ian saying good evening. If the chat is still working, so can someone just give us a shout out and hello, because we might be talking to ourselves here. I'm not sure.
I just put the laptop on, so I will see if the chat works.
Good.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll just see if somebody pops up and says hello. Okay. Oh, there we go. Ian's responded. So yes, we are still live. Ian, the Dinky Shadow 2 is a heavy piece of diecast. It could do some damage. It could if you threw it hard enough, mate. It'd take somebody's head off. Yeah, it is like the cricket ball of the diecast world. It's not exactly a tennis ball. So yeah, and Ian, bless him, has sent me an absolute bucket load of UFO memorabilia. Thanks, John. Welcome back. Welcome, mate. So I collect Jerry Anderson pieces, as everybody knows, and I need to give a shout out to Luke, bless him, who has sent me apparently a Batmobile that wanted repairing. Get out of here! It's beautiful. It's yes, it wants an aerial, but it's an original '66 Batmobile. Flames on the back, clipper out the front, Bat logo with Batman and Robin. Stunner, my friend.
The aerial on that should be there with a PJ.
Yeah, I've got them, mate. I've got them. They're safe. I'm going to send you an intercity commuter to say thank you. Or 6.
All forward to it.
as many as we can find. You know you've gone wrong if you've got an intercity commuter sent to you. We saw a post of it was the Tesla truck. And all of a sudden, I could just picture that intercity commuter in my mind, and Martin said many years ago, the best thing you could do is turn the damn thing upside down, paint it yellow, and call it a skip. That sums it all, really. Yeah. John says hi, Michael. Michael's in the chat. Good evening, Michael.
Good evening, Michael.
From Gravesend, Australia. Diecast salvage. I have a few favourite. There are a Tenko 0302 Mercedes Buzz, a Dinky VW 600 TL, a Dinky and Lone Star EL Camino, and I'll take the intercity commuter, and you're welcome to it. Mick says junk. I don't know. I've seen your collection, Mick. It certainly is junk. We've got some cracking vehicles. So each week we'll pull a model from a featured model, and we'll have a bit of a chat about it. So, yeah, this is from the Jerry Anderson UFO TV series from, I'm going to say 70 to 72 before Space 199 took over. The days of Ed Bishop and crew. One of my favourite sci-fi, if not my favourite sci-fi show of all time. Definitely my favourite Jerry Anderson show. And the music was a belter. The opening sequence of the music was fantastic. So there you go. That's my contribution to the featured toys section of this chat. That's me waffling too much. So we're going to move on to we're going to get somebody to do some talking about a restoration now. So let's move it swiftly along. Right, Lukey, one from the vault.
You won't put it on me, wouldn't you?
I know, I was a bit short notice as well. I give about 5 minutes to get ready.
Other than the Ford Capri, that's all I can tell you about it.
It's a Ford Capri.
I know the guy that designed this loved Capri Sun, the drink. So he couldn't call it that, so he shortened it and called it the Capri instead for copyright reasons.
If there's anybody we know that everybody in our group loves Ford Capris, apart from Laz. I'm not sure whether Laz does or not.
I prefer man.
It's not a measure red, but it's all right. We love the Ford Capris.
I love that model. It's a really lovely model to work on. Plenty of detail on it, and yeah, I like the way it's come. That for me, I think. What year did the Capri come out? It was it 60? About 68 on it.
Oh, Martin, it's changed shape from its original.
Yeah, the Mark one. Yeah. I think roughly about 68, 70, something like that. Yeah. The Mark one, which in my opinion,
I know the Mark II, they run up until the early 80s, didn't they? Once they changed it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the Mark one, more better because the Mark one needs to
My brother Lee,
be period.
he had the.
You're breaking up. Martin, can I ask you if you wouldn't mind just to restart? You're breaking up, and we're losing half of what you're saying, mate.
Yes.
I don't know why.
I'll get off
Let's
it.
give Martin a. It's crackling and yeah. Walks up his nose now. That's brilliant.
I'm trying to get off it, man. I'm trying to leave it.
I'm going to be brutal and kick him out and then let him rejoin. So
Yeah, kick me out.
do that. That was not many people can do that to Martin Dare and get away with it. I shall pay for it at some stage later, no doubt. Sorry, Luke, what was you saying?
Yeah, I was just saying it was probably in the sort of early 90s. My brother Lee had the first time I got really close to a Capri when he had one. He had the 2 litre S,
Yeah.
and then after that he had the 3 litre S, and I fell in love with them there. And it is in my top 10 favourite cars, the Capri.
Easy.
And once I'd done the first one, which is the orange one I've got up there, I think I seen Martin Dare's building one first. I thought I'm gonna have a go at that. And just a lovely model to work on. I think I got about 5 of them when I was 6. And I've got to build one for your mate, haven't I?
Yeah, based on you can tell how good that Capri is. I don't know how well it comes across on video, but that was the one that you brought down last night.
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke brought that down to show to a friend of mine called Chris, and Chris was blown away with it. And I think if he could have done, he would have brought it there and then on the spotlight off Luke. But he wanted some alterations, didn't he? Then he started to get a little bit picky and say, "Well, I want this tire and I want this wheel, and the windscreen wiper's got to point in this direction." And he was blown away with the level of the restoration that Luke had done.
Well, the wheels that he wants on that one of his, I've actually found the file for them, so that's not a problem. Get the wheels. And orange, orange with a black bonnet, didn't he?
Yeah, the bulge, yeah, the go faster bulge, which you could never see. It made you slow down. Yeah, I had a Burgundy 2 litre S Mark 3, and I had a 1.6 Mark 1 in Devil Red with all the chrome on it and the works. It was beautiful. And I sold it to a chap, and it ended up getting burned out and found in the middle of Birmingham when it was stolen. So it was all broken. No, I didn't own it anymore. But,
I've got this one here as well. This was gift by Nick.
Yeah, is that the 1 point? That's the 1.8, isn't it?
That's the 1.8 injection.
Yeah. Same as the one I've got.
I told Nick, give me this. I met him in Chester last weekend, I think it was. Met up with him, had a pint with him, and he bought me a gift. So really happy with that.
It's nice to see that somebody else it's encouraged people to meet up. So
yeah,
it bumped into Nick. Just following up on some of the chat. I have John. I have got 2 Dinky Toys Striker. Oh, you mean Striker's car, John? Is that the one you mean? They're like gold dust. They are Striker's car. I say they're like gold dust. They are gold as well. Mick saying no Tesla. What did I say? I don't know. Probably got something wrong. Kev, my favourite casting is the Cadillac Superior Rescuer Ambulance.
Yeah.
Fair dues. Mick saying I have 2. And Ian's following up on this bit of information on the Shadow. The Dinky UFO Shadow Mobile was produced from 71 to 80. Then Dinky at Binns Road, Liverpool, went bust. Sadly. It's amazing how some of the top quality stuff it's got its time, and then reaches the end of the road. Mick, Cortinas for me.
Yeah, like Cortina.
Cortina. They were very detective showy in the good
I
old
love
days.
all the old school Fords. I love all that.
Yeah.
I love all that.
Martin still hasn't gone back. Do you have a favourite Ford, Laz? If you're not a big Capri lover, but do you have a favourite Ford? You've gone muted. You've muted altogether. We've got no sound from you at all, mate.
Yes.
There
Is
you
it
go.
better? Yeah,
Oh,
I
did you
do
turn
like,
your microphone off?
yes, I did, because I just put the computer on, and too loud. And he wants me to log in, and he logged me out. So
Oh, dear.
yeah, I do like Ford. I do like Bronco. The pickup, the 4x4. I do like that one. I do like the Ford F-150. I did have one in Ford. That was really good. That was very powerful. 500 horsepower. That was.
I think there's a bit of. I'm not sure whether there's a bit of an internet issue going on tonight, because I think we may have. We're going to have to keep the chat going, chaps. It doesn't matter what you're putting in there. To activate chat, please enable channels. Well, we've enabled our channels. What's going on?
I don't know. The computer logged me out from YouTube. Strange.
Oh, as soon as you two, well, it must be your fault then. As soon as you touch your computer, that's going to take out the most of the UK. Okay, let's just we're just holding fire for a second.
So maybe something. Yeah, maybe something.
Yeah, we're having a few technical issues. So sorry, chaps.
Talking very badly.
Yeah, it was very crackly. Martin's was.
Yeah,
All right. Well, let's move on and to our next topic.
So yeah, Mustang as well. I like
Mustang.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like Mustangs. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
One to feature in weeks to come. One to feature Mustangs. All right. Okay. So we will crack on with our next. Right. This is going to be difficult because we haven't talked about this at all. Tools, tools, methods, and practices, and we haven't even settled on a topic. It was just last week we spent mostly coming up with the topic ideas, but not actually any topics to talk with the content. So, we know that. We know that one of the guys in the chat had asked about spray cans. Last week we talked about a bit about 3D printing. So we'll leave that for the time being. We'll come back to that at a later date as a filler. Ian saying, I wish I still had my MReg 1974 Mark 1 Escort 1300 GT 2-door in metallic bronze. Worth a packet nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, name your price for that.
Yes. we may just have got Mr. Dare back. There we go. Speak, damn you, speak.
Hello.
There you go. That's so much better. That's so much better.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll give you a chance to catch your breath.
No, I'm just trying to get on the what's going on here. I don't know. Hold on.
What did we have?
So I've only got 2 people on the screen. That's all. I'm trying to get more than 2 on. I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. I'm just pressing shit and it's not happening. I'll go that way. See what's any better. Pressing. That'll do for me. That'll do.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a. We've had a party going on this weekend, Friday and Saturday, so we're paying the price for that now on Sunday, I believe.
There we
Sorry,
go.
we're battling through. So we've just been talking about Capris, Mark. Your
Yeah,
favourite?
I'm thinking. Yeah, I think it's probably mid-70s. The Mark One. I can't be 100% sure. But yeah, nice. Mark One Capri, best in my
For a
opinion,
Mark.
best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've just been joined by Jerry in the chat. Hi, chaps. Greetings from Canada.
All right, Jerry.
People
Hi,
don't
Jerry.
believe
Style-wise, I think the Mark One was better. I think the Mark Two onwards, it seemed to be a little bit. How can I say? Very long-bodied and a bit sort of. It's strange. If you look at them side by side, you can see what I mean. There's a bit more bling on the Mark One, with those side vents at the back wheel arch and stuff like this. It just seemed to sit better on the road.
Yeah.
It seemed the Mark Two seemed to be a bit of a longer bonnet. I used to work with a chap who, when the Escort Mexico came out, he bought an Escort Mexico, brand spanking new, and he had it for a while. And then he bought a Capri, a white one with a black vinyl roof, and that was the Mark II. And to be honest with you, I don't know why he got rid of the Mexico, but he was never happy with it, and he ended up in the end buying the Morris 1300 GT.
Right.
Which I did. Yeah, that was a nice car. That was quick, nice car. But out of the two, the Escort and the Morris, I like the Morris better than the Escort because you see it was a bit lower down. It had that hydroelastic suspension, which was nice. But yeah. Then they went for the craze. Then they went for the craze of jacking the back end up on them bloody things. And that was the worst thing you could do with a Capri. With jack, because you used to be able to buy them shackle things. You could leaf spring extensions, and people used to put them on the back of the Capris and lift the back end up. My God, that was like terrible.
Turn them into drag cars as well.
They were never any good at handling anyway. But I think my dad's mate had the Mark One Capri. He had that jacked up with a jag axle on the back.
Yeah.
It was all chromed. Now he wasn't. How can I put it? He wasn't good mechanical wise because it always comes to me dad's to have work done to it. But work with fiberglass, unbelievable. Yeah. He had the back end scooping round on it like a scorpion from the back end nearly touching the roof. It sounds horrible, but the way he done it is unbelievable.
Yeah,
and that had the 3 litre Essex in it with a blower on the top of it.
Nice.
He'd always bolt the blower straight down onto a standard engine, and it'd last 6 weeks and no longer.
I'm going to say,
it was always at my dad's getting another engine in it. Well, hell of a thing it was.
Back in the late 70s, early 80s, we used to do all that sort of stuff with cars. But the thing was with the Capri, my mate had one, a grey one, and he did the same. Put shackles on it, lifted it up, and the steering was so heavy. Went through tyres, went through ball joints. Because if you're going to do something like that, you need to tip your engine back. Yeah, you need, because what you're doing, your engine's sitting like that. You know what I mean? With your car's up like that, your engine's sitting like that. So all your oil feed's knackered. You need to tilt the engine back. Yeah. All the weight is on that front, and I tell you, awful. And the back end was you could. I used to hate going in it. I said, "Oh no, I'm not going in it, mate. I'm not interested." You know, no way.
It was a. When I was a kid, it was a status symbol. I mean, you didn't care if it wasn't road handling. You didn't care if it wasn't the fastest car. You drove down there with your dice dangling from the mirror, your great big shade that got your name on it, and just elbow out, doing about 15 mile an hour, going, I'm driving a Ford.
We was all learning then. Back then, you could do anything with your cars. You could buy it. You could swap, especially the Fords. You could the Mark One Cortinas, the Corsairs, the Angulars. You could swap and change all the parts, bits and pieces. And I think the magazine at the time was the Hot Car magazine, and you could buy. When you look through there, you could buy. And get fiberglass arches for the Escort. You could forest arches. You can get I think for the Mini they did what they called a groundhog's front end, which was basically a fiberglass front end with a big scoop on the front and the lower skirt. Yeah, and you could buy all that. So people were getting them, bolted them on, and they were falling off, hanging off, flapping in the wind, and all sorts of stuff like that. You didn't give a monkey, just put it on. I'd see minis with massive wheels on the back, snapping off because they didn't put the spacers on, you know. So it's bigger bolts on, they'd be all right. It's like going banger racing on the street, you know.
I don't know whether it was the case, but it felt like it to me that the RS2000 was a point in time. The Ford Escort RS2000 was a point in time when body skirts started to come in. You know, you saw them on
manufactured
Sierras,
ones,
you saw them on Fords, Fiestas, Focuses. There was some cracking vehicles come out at that time.
To be honest with you, at the time, the only real flashy wheels you could get were the Wolf Race wheels. The only real ones you could get. But it wasn't until the manufacturers obviously cottoned on to what people were doing, and with, like you say, putting skirts and stuff. You know, otherwise you don't do it yourself. You know, and us lads just bolting stuff off left, right, and centre. I mean, some of the stuff inside the cars are pretty basic. So you'd go down a scrapyard, as you could in them days, and you go around all the scrapyards, and you send the guy, "Oh, I'm going to look for so and so for a whatever car," and you're going around and you're taking all the dials out of the Jaguars, you know, the Smith dials, all gauge, pressure gauges, you know, temperature gauges, and you stick them all in your Mini, hook them all up, you know, and you got a Mini like a Christmas tree when you light it up, and you know that was the thing, you know. You were cool with your cassette tapes and, you know, your little dials in your car, and you couldn't. Cars didn't have center consoles. Some of them didn't have center consoles, so you could buy a center console. It was, you know, antique. It was antique leather, you know, PVC, but you know, you could do that.
Real black PVC leather.
Yeah, and you could put it over the top of your gear stick, and you was, you look at this is great, you know what I mean? But yeah, they're fun times, mate. You learn a lot. Learned a lot.
You had like one of the spindles in the fill-up stations, and you could go and take a new gear knob and just
that's
go
it.
in the garage.
When we used to go to the junkyard, nowadays you cannot go.
No, you can't now. All health and safety, mate.
Yeah, it was so good. We were looking for you know, door handles and extra mirrors. Yeah, it was so good to take the tools, the screwdriver, hammer, go and get what you like, and they make how much for these things? Give me £10, whatever.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so
well,
good.
I had a Rover, what Luke just showed you. I had one of those, and I think they've got 72 bolt-on panels on them Rovers. You can literally take them apart, and mine was a bit rotten in places. So I went down the breakers yard, well, several breakers yards in my area, and I got a yellow back wing, a blue back wing, blue one the other side. I got a green one on the front, and I got a white one on the front. So I got 4 different colour wings, and eventually I thought, you know what, I want a sunroof in this. And I went down and I see a white one which has got a sunroof in it, a Webesto sunroof. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take my roof off, put this roof on. And I drove the car to the scrapyard, and I said to the guy, "See that Rover over there?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "I want a roof off that." He said, "You know how to take it off?" I goes, "Well, I don't know really." He said, "Well, pop the caps off. There's bolts underneath there." And I went, pop that off, got the roof off. Me and him carried to my car, popped my roof off, put that back on, bolted it on, drove off. It was it, you know what I mean? Now I got myself a sunroof. Yeah, but yeah, them were the days, mate. You could do that. But mind you, having said that, I mean, you're talking. I've seen cars piled 4 high in a scrapyard, and I'm climbing on there, climbing up to the top car to get a piece off. You know what I mean? I'm balancing on the top car, taking a bonnet hinge off or part of the seat off. You know what I mean? But yeah, you didn't care then, did you? When it, like that, good fun. It was good fun. Now you can't do nothing.
Can't do now.
You need a degree in technology to bloody do anything. Nip into the chat. John saying, "Hi Luke, just invited you to the Capri site." So you got a Capri, you got a.
That'll do. Yes, John.
Ian saying, "Just uploaded my purchase for this week. PJ, something that might please you, an original 1966 complete Batman jigsaw, superb artwork. You can show it now. We'll come to our Facebook display at the end. Right, thank you for that, chaps. So the Capri is Luke's choice for his build this week, his restoration this week. So Martin, Laz, if one of you can pick a restoration next week or one for your favourite featured vehicle, I'll let you decide between the two of you who wants to do what. Because we've covered everybody's bases by jumping in there and just covering the time really. So you got a week now. Luke had 5 minutes, and I had about 10. So you got a bit of time to think about it, and then we'll see what the guys come up with next week, what their choices are. Right. Moving on. Oh, we hadn't moved on actually. We got to as Martin joined us back here. We just touched on tools, practices, and techniques, Martin. Now we know that we've been over quite a few of these practices and tools and so forth over the weeks. Probably not so much tools. We talked about practices and techniques more than anything else. We know that one of the guys in the chat, one of our irregular regulars, touched on spraying, paint spraying. We've got just three of the chaps that do paint spraying more than anybody else, probably. In search of the lost diecast has joined us in the chat. Good evening,
Brian.
Brian. Yeah, Pete, you forgot then, Pete, didn't you? I could see it in your head going, "Oh, who's that?"
You're very quiet.
Evening, Brian.
I'm very quiet again.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, can you? Yeah.
I just wanted to say excellent video, Brian. The first video was excellent. I did watch it.
In search of the lost. I like that. In search of the lost.
Yeah. I do like the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
His unboxing video was good too. I watched that before. Nice model there.
It's Brian. Well done, sir. Well done. It takes me a while to catch on and remember. So yeah, we were talking tools, practices, and techniques. So, as our resident sprayer, airbrush sprayer, I would imagine, because the other three of us mainly use spray cans. Luke, you want to tell us what your setup is and how you go about repainting a model?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I have got. I bought a new gun. Well, you'll know that, but some of them in the chats might not. It's a gallery gun. It comes with 3 sets of needles, this 0.2, 0.5 and a 0.7. The 0.7 is, I think, going to be really good for the clear coat. I've run a little bit through it. I'm going to do an unboxing on this and a review. I'm probably going to do it painting the Charger, so I'll sort of edit it out and I'll put a separate video up just for the gun. But I'm looking forward to using that. Obviously the compressor. Now, most of you will know I use 2K paint as automotive paint. The undercoat I use is a high build primer. I always trace coat it or guide coat it, flat it back. And yeah, that's basically what I'm using.
You are kind of going to the industrial length on a small model, aren't you? You're using what you'd use on a proper vehicle.
Yeah. Well, to show us what Martin and Lazzie is, the cans you're using, they're designed for painting cars, and and some of them you can sort of blowing in little scratch marks. I've done it myself. I've done smart repair for quite a few years, and some of that you can get away with straight out the can, blow it in, but you can't get a good submission with the can paint.
What size is your compressor that you're using?
The compressor is a twin cylinder. It's a 15-litre tank. So it's only a small one, just for the airbrush. I've got a.
What's the PSI coming out? What's the PSI coming out?
I run the gun between sort of 60 and 55. Some people might say that's too high, but if I run it any lower, I don't get the finish. I'll try winding the gun back, and it actually took me, like, I've never used an airbrush until I come to car modelling. Mine's always the big Velvises that I've used. So it took a little time to dial it in. And I had a guy say, you're running the gun too high. But I'm telling you now, that's where it needs to run to get the finish that I get.
Yeah, because you're using a 2K, you need that extra power blast. I mean, like the aerosols, they don't run nowhere near. Airbrushes don't run any, even powder coating. But when you're running, because the 2K is quite, compared to a lot of paints, hobby paints, it's quite thick, isn't it? So you know, with the thin, you thin it down,
but straight out the can, straight out the can with just the the hardener in it, it wouldn't push through the gun at all. It wouldn't, even with a 0.7 or a 0.8, it struggle.
Yeah, it's the consistency of the liquid, and it's consistency of the liquid.
Yeah,
because then needles, when you get down, if you start going down needle size or even pressure size, it's going to struggle to push that because it's got hardener in it, thinners in it. It's going to, So I think, the high pressure, it seems to work all right. It works right because that stuff, it dries a lot. It lays down a lot easier. It does. If I were to blast one of my die casts full blast with an aerosol can, it would just literally run everywhere. You know, it would sag. It would run.
The detail as well, Martin.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the 2K. It's more. It attaches a lot easier, as a better word, to the metal. Yeah.
It's like with any paint, Martin, you've got to put that tack coat down first. That's your foundation. That's what every other coat's going to stick to that. Then, another reason why I got that gun, there's 2 air caps with that as well. There's the round one and there's a fan cap with it. So I've got 2 guns now with fan caps. The big Sparmax I've got up there, that's perfect for 125 or 118 scale model. Absolutely brilliant for that. I'm hoping this smaller one's going to be great for the little 143.
What's your preference, the fan cap or the round cap?
The fan cap definitely for the lacquer. It puts that down beautiful, especially on this one. It come out absolutely lovely. That straight out the gun, that finish. I don't know if you can see there.
Yeah.
It goes down lovely. But it's just getting that flow right as well. Once that paint hits the model, you want it to flow a little bit. You don't want it just to hit it and then stick there. You need that little bit of flow, and that's what gets you that mirror finish. But it goes down to your preparation. You got to have that casting as smooth as you can get it.
Cool.
Lads,
I've been after these for ages. I went down to the place I go to in Mold, and I paid 50p for these little punches. They're brand new, in the box, out of a house clearance. There's every size there you need. Perfect for either the wheels or headlights, whatever. So happy with them.
Nice, isn't it? Lads, painting. You're predominantly spray can, like
yes, spray can. Yes, the spray can. Yeah.
But you've had to kind of do a bit more searching about for stuff since you've moved back from the UK.
I think I've got a French brand now. It's quite good. Extreme, called Extreme something. It's quite good now, and I've got the clear coat as well for that. So I try not to mix the paint brands. So I'm trying to stick to one, but sometimes I see a different color, a nicer color in another brand. I do buy that one, but mostly I stick to the same brand, and I don't have any problems like this.
Right. And I mean, you're pretty much like me. You've got to wait till it's kind of mild outside to go out, and because you spray outside, don't you?
Yeah, I do spray now as well. I go quickly, so I do quick spray, and I don't have any problem with the paint.
Yeah.
Although I wait, I don't spray in the morning, so I wait till like 10, 11 in the morning,
Yeah.
which is a bit better. And yeah, sometimes it's very windy, so it's difficult to spray. But yeah, I don't have any problem with the spray. I do it quickly. I normally do small ones. I don't do big ones.
Martin, your weapon of choice?
Yeah, I use the aerosol, but basically for quickness,
Yeah.
because if you're doing two tones and that, the airbrush is fine, not a problem with the airbrush. I started off using the airbrush a lot on my early ones, but it was, you know, forever cleaning it out, cleaning the needles and stuff like this on the small one, because I was using like a 2.5 or something like that, or a 5, something like that, and I just found it. I started using the aerosol. I thought, you know what, I'll stick with this because I got quite good at it, you know, and gauging how much to put on and how much to use. And so I thought, well, for quickness for me, personal choice, I do use my airbrush, but I use it more for scale modelling now than anything else. I find it's nice for that because it's more sedate, you know. But the aerosol cans that I can use them, and you get some quite good colours now on those. And yeah, mine don't take too long to dry because I keep mine in a heated room. I warm the casting up, like you say, like Luke said, the preparation is key. You know, rub my make sure the casting is nice, clean, degrease it, prime it. I probably prime it, and then I rub that down, and then I prime it a second time, and then I'll get that coat nice and smooth. Make sure there's no more, because the first coat of primer always stones up your marks. You know, I always find to put a coat of primer on, doesn't have to be too heavy, and that will show any marks that you've missed. Why? Because when you're cleaning the bare casting up, for some of the light reflection off it and being like shiny metal, you don't always see the defects in it. But when you do a first coat of primer, bang, you can see everything. You know, so that's always nice to know. Then you can fill it, do what you have to do, reshape it, refile it, and then smooth all that down, then put another coat of primer on, and that make that your finishing primer, and then go along and get that nice and smooth. And I always do with my rattle cans, I always do a very, very light coat first time round, you know, and I always start underneath inside just in case, because some of the aerosol cans have got a problem. If your can's less than half full, you seem to get a condensation build up inside the can, and it'll come out like either treacle or very watery. So I'll always like to test spray in the booth and then spray underneath where you can't see, you know, inside the casting, because you might think the color looks right, but when you put it on the primer, you think, oh, I'm not happy with that, you know. So I always do mine underneath, so you're not going to destroy the top surface. I put a light coat on, I let that settle for 20 minutes, half hour over my heater, so it's nice, so it's touch dry, and have a look at it, make sure it's okay, and then because you're not gone too far, you can't get it back, and then another light coat, and then the final wet coat, and I let that dry overnight, and then I go in with the lacquer, and I do the same with the lacquer. I do a very thin coat just to settle it down, see what it goes like, and then off you go. Put another light coat on, leave that dry, and then I do a wet coat at the end. That's basically how I use mine. It's patience more than you got to have patience.
Yeah.
Don't try and attack it, especially if you're doing two-tone, because some lacquers, if you do too quick on it, you go lacquer it too quick, it'll make your color run. I've had that before now, you know. So just patience, time. Don't rush it. And also, when it's been lacquered, I know Luke can leave his not too long before he can handle it. But some of the aerosol cans, as rattle cans, as Laz will probably know, even after a couple of days, if you're not careful, you can leave finger marks in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I like to leave mine under the heat for a while, let it settle, and that all depends on how thick you're putting your paint on. You see, if you put your paint on in thin layers, you've got less chance of getting finger marks on it. But you're putting on thick layers, you know, you're going to get finger marks in it. So I just like to leave mine. I have been really pissed off a few times though, because I've done that and I thought this is nice and dry. I've turned it upside down to put the rivets in, turned it back the other way, and I've got a mark where the cloth's been on the roof, and I thought, oh no. But luckily, if the paint is fairly soft, if you've got a nice soft cloth, yeah, you can rub that. You can rub that, and it will rub it out without damaging your paint. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts really, whatever you prefer. Because I do one a week, so I need to sort of get one done to get it in paint as soon as possible, really, before I do anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, without, I mean, I can't add anything to that really, not much, because I fell from the dare tree of how to paint your die-cast vehicle. So what I will add to that is, you do find things out yourself, even if you go on YouTube and you know whatever you're trying to replicate what somebody else is teaching you, and all these boys are teaching. They all do teaching in their own way, but you'll still find your own way of doing something or something slightly different. You can watch two excellent videos and take something from each one. What I will say, I think it's worth trying to match your primer to the top coat that you're going to use. So if you're going to do a red, an orange, a yellow, use a red primer. If you want, because yellow, I remember doing the little milk float, or was it the Coca-Cola lorry, the little, the small Lesney one. And yellow is a bitch of a colour to paint. So whatever you do, don't use white as your primer, because you think, well, that's the logical thing to use. It will not cover, not on that particular vehicle.
Depends on the pigment, that PJ, in the yellow. Yeah. Some of it's pretty weak in it.
I'd never had. I've used predominantly iCoat. Me and Mark both predominantly use iCoat, because I'll phone him and say, "What shade have you done this?" and blah blah blah, and I'll say, "Oh, I found this. It might be worth giving it a go." And Alfred's. So it's either been Alfred's or the range is where I get my iCoat from. There's also a garage spare parts brand that I can't think of.
Probably Motorsport, is it?
Something like Euro parts or something like that. I can't remember.
Motor Factors or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I never had a bit high coat. Yellow. No. That was really, really nice and thick. This one I have here as a nightmare, and the orange as well. They are a nightmare. But
I've not. If I was going to, if money was no object, and I say this with tongue in cheek, I would always use the Tamiya light grey, but it's a very small can and it's a lot of money. But it is a fantastic grey primer. I can't fault it. But if you want quantity with a good coverage, you can't beat the iCoat primer. And they also do the plastic grey primer as well, so which is basically the primer on speed with a bit of thickness to it to cover all the nooks and crannies where you've got scratches and stuff.
Yeah, iCoat had a filler primer as well, which was like a mustard yellow color. That was really good as well, which I cannot get here. I can't find any filler primer.
So so primers are important, I think. Also, if you do run a YouTube channel, don't try and have a couple of vehicles on the go at the same time. The reason I say that is, don't leave it so that you're doing one vehicle and you've got to rush to get it done. Because as the boys have been saying, the longer you leave some of this stuff to dry, the better the finish you get on it, especially with lacquers. And the other one is like if you're using something like a chrome pen, the chrome covered, the chrome pigments take a hell of a long. It could be 2 weeks before they're dry. Something on some of them, like
Yeah, Molotov's awful. It's better through a spray gun. Molotov chrome paint is better through an airbrush.
Yeah.
It dries quicker. It goes on smoother. If you're trying to hand paint it on or paint it on with the thing that it comes with,
well, I don't know if Michael
can look atrocious.
But I did get the well, that's a terrible picture. Isn't it? I did get the chrome.
Is it the nail varnish? Is it?
Yes, I use it every weekend usually, but
I wonder why you weren't wearing it yesterday.
no, that's just because my model hadn't dried. just went everywhere. So this is Severe. Somebody else can try and pronounce it. God knows. Metal chrome, metal mirror silver. It does cover really well. But things like these, they need a hell of a time to dry. Put them somewhere warm. 48 hours minimum before you want to consider touching it. I touched this a day later; it was still wet. So, but that was just in a standard room climate.
You might, PJ. You might. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to work, but you might, because that's basically nail varnish, what they use for the nails. You might be better off trying to put it under a UV light to dry.
You know, as soon as you said, I knew where he's going to go with that because I've got that UV torch. Yeah.
Yeah, because you see them in the nail bars. They've got their hands in them UV lights.
Yeah.
And I think you might find it's worth trying as an experiment. Try it and see what happens. Yeah. Because as modelers, even die casters or even plastic modelers, you look at these nail bars and they do some beautiful nails.
Yeah.
And they've got some nice.
Oh, the detail is fantastic on some of them.
And they've got some nice colours. It's worth the better, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, like
you've not seen him without his gloves on, have you? Crikey!
If you've got the cojones to go into a nail bar,
I'm having my cojones painted. If that's where you're going with this,
I'm going to get refreshment. It's getting too much for me.
I'll be back in a minute. You're all right, mate. No worries. I was very skeptical about the UV light, Mark, until I was doing one of my 3D models, and as I showed you how easy it is to break something off.
Oh yeah, definitely
breaking something off the other night. But you can buy these little dropper bottles, and this is full of 3D resin. This light is. I do apologise. This light is terrible.
Yeah.
So this is full of 3D resin, and what you do is, if you're doing a 3D print and it's 2 parts, you can use this resin as a filler between like a neck joint and shoulders joint.
Oh yeah,
Get your UV torch. I couldn't believe it. Bloody hell! It's actually drying it. It's actually doing what it's supposed to do, as advertised. So, well, you can't keep this in the light. I've got this under my monitor in the dark. Any kind of light, and you can feel it start to. It's like getting a bag of Ben fried rice, and you've got to loosen it up.
Well, that just goes to prove the point, and doesn't it? Because if you've got that in the light and it starts to go hard, then obviously the UV light will make it go harder quicker. Yeah. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Well, the idea is that you've seen behind me the 3D printer that I've got, Mark. I put a cover over it in the daytime so that the sunlight can't get at the liquid. I've had a lot of tips from Michael on how to keep the resin fresh, because you can spend a bucket load of. Although these printers are a reasonable price, these particular 3D printers, you can start to spend money on replacement filaments and plates, coverings, and plastics and so forth if you're wasting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
So, that's our kind of we've all got our own flavors, and we all share tips if we come across anything new. Luke is probably the out and out spray painter. The rest of us are. I mean, I do a lot of hand painting on my 3D printing creature feature models, which I've taken up, and I even, believe it or not, I even brought a paint by numbers from the range. It was some was it some stallions or something, or unicorns? I can't remember what it was. And I just thought, since I started doing this hand painting, how relaxing it is. Not not something I want to show on YouTube. Just sit down on a Saturday night or whatever, like bit of soft music on, and it's just stress relief is incredible.
I tell you what, I do enjoy doing the cars without the video, without the.
You don't feel.
I do enjoy that. That's why sometimes I feel like, I need to put the camera on. It's not gonna be all right. How to set the camera. But when I do the other cars, I just do them. Paint them, make them nice, spray, put them together, display nice. It's a lot easier.
I think you end up with I mean, it's just my personal. I'm just going to say hello. Sorry, I'm just going to jump into the chat because we don't want to ignore people in the chat who've left them messages. So, Brian, welcome along. I will. In Search of the Lost Diecast is Brian's channel. I will sign up to that, Brian, when later on after we come off this. Lads is saying bonjour. Oh, he is moving. He's a sexy man, and you know what I mean. Sometimes, Ian, the casting is just too good to disassemble, but the interior is dusty, and you want to get the don't want to get the casting wet, and start it rusting. A slightly moist cotton bud to clean, then a hair dryer. Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing is, because if you've got a slight gap in your models and you want to clean the interior, get yourself a can of fresh air, which sounds bizarre, but you can buy air dusters. It's just compressed, pathetic as it sounds. It's compressed air every time. It's like a reverse vacuum cleaner, and they work.
Take it up though before you use it.
Yeah. Shake it up because there is some I don't know whether it's condensation in it. Mark, some fluid in it. Yeah, you're right.
I made that mistake.
Our good friend, Mr. Paul JMO Pimp My Diecast James has joined the chat.
JMO.
I Muffer Fluffers, or I Fluffer Muffers. He's really turned his language around. I think he's
doing well, bless him.
He's doing well, that lad is. Mick saying hi, JMO. Ian, hi, JMO. Pimpy. Well, people call him Pimpy. I love that. Hi there. Get your paints out. 12. 1 to 2. Wine poured 3 to 4, and paint 5 to 6. Yeah, it's about right, brother. You substitute wine for scotch, and you're about right, mate. You can't argue with that. Kev saying that I'd sometimes do my cars off camera too. If you haven't, and James saying if you have an airbrush, there you go. So that's our kind of take on spray painting. What we'll do is, if you've got any questions, guys, on this topic, either ask now and we'll come back to it, or we'll come back to it next time, and we'll have a bit of a recap. So, moving along, chaps. This is good. This is going a little bit better than I thought it was. We staggered a bit at the first, but we're plodding along now. So let's move on to our next topic, which is So we're looking at trade and exchange. So trade and exchange. The idea behind this was that somebody mentioned, I don't know whether it was on the Facebook page or in the chat last week, could we do a trade and exchange kind of thing? This means nothing to Luke and Laz because they're far too young. There used to be a show back in the day called Swap Shop on BBC with Noel Edmonds, and kids used to phone in and say, "I've got Monopoly. I'd like to swap it for Cluedo, please, Noel." Oh, well, we'll see what, because the BBC were, so good at, they were so cheap. They even got kids swapping their models, wouldn't give them a new one, This is where your license fee went back in the day. So they'd phone into the studio and, I've got an action man. Yeah, but I've got a little big man. I'd like to swap it. And Steve and all this kind of stuff went on. So that was the general idea. So because it was an idea, I thought we'll give it a go. So if you're in the chat and you've got a model that you would like to swap for something else, put it into the chat or put it on our Facebook channel so that we know, and we'll give we'll give you a shout out. Kev's just said, remember Swap Shop very well. Love Posh Paws. Posh Paws was a dinosaur with Keith and Keith Chegwin's on it, and so was Maggie Philbin, if I remember right. So there was 3 of them. Yeah. They were nothing compared to Tiswas, which was my
there we go.
choice with Sally James, bless her. It was like adult porn for kids on a Saturday morning. Tiswas was. It was bizarre. Yeah, he's saying absolutely. Or I have a bar of soap and I can swap it for a rally chopper. Right, it's what it was. It was pathetic. JMO, I have 65 Hot Wheel fantasy castings. We'll swap for Penelope Cruz. We'll see if we can figure that one out. We'll see if Penelope says she's available. JMO, bless you.
Oh, sorry, PJ. I'm sorry. I need to go. I've got a taxi.
That's all right, Laz. Thank you, my friend.
See you later. Take care. Sorry, I have to go.
That's all right. Take care,
Bye.
buddy. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Jerry saying, "Can we swap?" I don't think people are taking this seriously. Jerry, can we swap wives? I don't really want anything for her. For someone to take her, please. I think you're missing the point of the general core of what we're
I don't know. I think
I swapped an empty can for a full one.
Yeah.
It's
going down here rather quickly.
Going down the other fast. Telephone number for Swap Shop is I'm not even going to repeat that out loud. Ian's got the phone number. Yeah. This is Big Bertha at 01800. Never mind. So, if you've got anything if you've got a vehicle that you'd like to swap, and that you're looking for anything in that exchange, then stick it in the chat. God forbid. And
well, it could be anything. It could be anything. Could it be in the die casting models community? It could be a case somebody's got a plastic kit they want to swap for a die cast, or you've got a set of paints that you're not using and they're in good condition. You want to swap for whatever,
Yeah. Models, tools, brushes, paint, you name it.
Yeah.
And then we'll try and figure out. You can tell how well we've thought this through. Then like we did. It's usually about, I don't know, 1:45 on a Saturday morning. Then I've got an idea. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll all do that. Yeah, that sounds brilliant. So one to bear in mind: if we get one for next week, it'll be a miracle that something that actually pans out. That being said, me and the boys, Luke and Laz, Luke, Martin, and Lee met up last night. Obviously, it was a celebratory party, but we even had our annual. Let's go out to the boot of the cars and see what we can swap.
Yeah,
Meet.
even on a night out,
Even on a night out. which everybody else going, where have they gone? They've gone out to the car boot. What car boot? Do you know the organised one?
Hey, it's a good job nobody's going to get married, isn't it? Because there'd be a bloody big car boot, and when we get married, where's the bridegroom? Where's the bridegroom? He's out there swapping die cars.
I've got cars to swap in the car park. Is the photographs done? That's how bad we'd be. It's swear to God. So we do when we have our meetups where we go to Stafford, Doncaster, even at celebrating a party, we meet up and we'll bring stuff together and swap bits and bobs. So that's how we play it. JMO, I have a broken TV monitor, Jerry, but I may want something else as well. Righto. I have a nappy full. What can I get for that? So thanks, Laz. I thought you was going to be a taxi driver.
I thought you were getting a taxi.
Yeah. Jerry, seriously, if you guys want like Tonkers, Tootsie Toys, Hot Wheels, etc. Now, it's worth mentioning because Jerry's in Canada. They can get hold of the Hot Wheels cars that we don't get over here. So, a lot of the more classic vehicles, and I think they can get it's easy to get hold of the Redline vehicles over there as well. Is it Redline, that range? And the Johnny Lightning range, that kind of thing. So that's it's always worth having a contact in the States, in Australia, like we've got Michael. By all means.
I am after the 18 van. Anyone who's got one?
Anybody's got an 18 van?
The 18.
There you go.
What size? What size?
Whatever, at least 143 might, preferably bigger. Like
it's the GMC one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who makes the big one of that. Maybe Ertel might have made a big one.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I did have one that was pretty big. I want to do one. If I can find one. I've had a look on eBay. Some of them are quite pricey on there, but I'm prepared to
Yeah.
Or I'll give I might swap one of my Capris for one.
Bloody hell, I'll go and buy one to send for your Capris. Christ. I'll drive it up there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a manufacturer. Apart from Ertel, I know Corgi.
I think that's who we buy, Martin Ertel. I think that's
Green Light do one.
They normally do the TV stuff, don't they? They did all their Dukes of Hazzard stuff, and I think they do. I mean, I know I've got a big tin plate one, the big 18 tin plate one, but I don't know. I'll have to have a look. I'll look on the internet tonight and have a look.
Yeah,
see if they do one. Yeah.
Just get seriously. If you guys want, thanks, Jerry, much appreciated, mate. And also Jerry's actually joined our Facebook Live. Put my teeth in. Jerry has joined the Taverners on a Friday night, and he's still alive. He's made it out unscarred, untethered. He's actually come back to us, so bless him. We've got another official Taverner now, Jerry. So. Join us, Jerry. Hopefully, we'll see you on Friday. We can talk about swapsies and things like that. You need only fans, Laz. I don't know what that refers.
Yeah, only fans. Yeah.
Russ has joined us. Play-ups. Sorry.
Russ.
It's been a celebration weekend this weekend, Russ. So we had to put it back a day. I was 1,000 years old yesterday, so. We pushed it back a day, and we couldn't do that. We couldn't do the Saturday because I was wrecked. I actually finally managed to get up, and it's Sunday, so we put it back a day. We've had as I said, a shout out to everybody who's left best wishes. It's much appreciated. Much love to everybody who's given me a thought. It's great. I couldn't believe how you can go from such a shit birthday the year before to something completely different that's blown me away this year. Just to show this again that Lee from Diecast Fixer Uppers and Jackie Jackson. This has been printed on a mug. There's the guys meeting. There's Lee, Luke,
Eminem in the
Andy,
corner.
Martin in disguise. I'm not sure he's disguised as, but he's in disguise. There's our. So back in the day, I had a piece of software when I used to work for a particular company where we could create these caricatures of people. And they were called the Taverners. Unfortunately, that software was £1,600 a year, so I can't do it anymore. But there's Neil Austin, there's JMO on the bottom, there's Mark, there's me, there's Lee. Fantastic mug. So this led Martin. I don't know. Was it one of your family that you were speaking to last night or texting?
Yeah, last night. Yeah.
Because I said to when I went to pick my car up from the pub today, I said to Christy, I don't know whether I've agreed to spend a bucket load of money on some printing stuff. I'll have chat with Mark what we agreed to. So apparently one of I'll let you tell the story about your family.
Daughter-in-law's got a they're in the throes of closing down a company what used to do cake toppers, and they have got a mug printing machine that I did spot in there when I was there. It prints the mugs, and she has got one, but it's lacking the software for some reason or another. And they've got one or two other things they want to put in sell as a job lot. So I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to work on it and see if I can get that out of there as an individual item.
If you want to stay a member of this family, you'll do a deal, or you'll become a black sheep.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Better start blackmail. Yeah.
We may have a DMC range of merchandise coming out.
We'll all be drinking out of Martin Dare's Dinky Restoration mugs.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm only prepared to be on a mug as long as you do mine once every 3 weeks on its own. Yeah.
The scary thing about that is, I mean, I don't know if they still do it. I mean, my grandmother used to have a tea service, and when you used to drink out a tea, and as you went down the cup, a face would appear at the bottom of the cup, and it wasn't your face, but it was a face what was printed in, and you couldn't see it when it didn't have anything in it. But when you added the water, the hot water, you would drink that, and you could see that. And I thought I was fascinated with that.
Yeah.
Look, Grandma's got these things, and I was asking for more tea and more biscuits, but yeah.
And Grandma's wig got darker and darker and darker. The more
all the crumbs, biscuit crumbs at the bottom of your cup.
Let me catch up with this. So, Russ, good to see you, mate. Yes, apologies. We always do Saturdays unless something happens. So we had a big one yesterday. JMO, Canada and America can get Matchbox, Corgi, and Dinky that weren't made for the UK market. Right, Jerry, you may have opened yourself up to a can of worms here. Johnny Lightning A-Team is 1/64 scale. So there is there is a Johnny Lightning version of it, Luke.
Right.
I don't know it's worth having a look on eBay as well. See if
I want to put them on
new models.
Yeah.
Tonka. Oh, now we're going down the Dare route. Tonka made a big A-Team van.
Yeah, so Ertl made one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That might be worth.
And they made a charger because when I bought the A-Team Ertl tin plate one with Mr. T inside, the guy also was selling the Dodge Charger, and that was huge. That was 1/18 scale Dodge Charger tin plate, and the trouble was a bit of damage on it, but it was doable. But I was outpriced on that one, outbid on that one. But yeah.
Okay. Happy birthday, Peter. Bless you, Russ. Thank you very much. I can see what's coming up next. But Brian saying, "Go zip, see you guys in search of the lost diecast. Go and sign up to In Search of the Lost Diecast." Our friend Brian, and it'd be good to get him a few, give him a boost of subscribers. Excuse me. Jerry saying, "PJ, you don't look 60, but I remember when you did." Right, thank you very much. There's no need for that, but a bit harsh. Love you. Kev, bye, Brian. See you, Brian. Catch you later, buddy.
See you later, Brian. Take it easy, mate.
It is a mug's game. And we're that cheap. Anything we can do to make a bob or two to keep the channel run, we'll go for anything.
Yeah.
JMO, must be my family that gives you a mug with printed on the bottom. Right. Okay. So there you go. The swap shop. I don't know whether all that led to printing on mugs, but I think that's where we got to. So next week, if you between now and next week, you've got something you'd like to swap in the channel, in the chat, post it, swap it, exchange it. We'll see what we can figure out. It'll be an ongoing figuring it out kind of process, but I think it's something we can do.
Yeah.
So let's gently but for surely move on to repair shop. Yeah, I think we kind of forgot. we kind of nailed this, and then kind of forgot over the week what it might be about. And looking back now, between these exchanges of an intermission card and the menu, I think we'll scrap the intermission card and we'll just have the menu and bring that up with the intermission news.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so we'll drop. It's all fingers and thumbs, and I've also realised the longer the show goes on, the more I find it difficult to click between screens. I don't know why that might be. Cheers.
I couldn't say. Got a damn good idea with that.
Mark, who was the? Can you remember the comedians on ITV?
Yeah.
I'm sure this guy's name is Mick, but he had long hair and it was cut across.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, he straight cut across here.
Yeah.
Was it Mike Boardman?
No,
Was he to the Germans?
No, that's Stan Borman.
Stan Borman, yeah.
He's one of Luke's relatives. He's got. They can't swear. You're live. You're live. I've saved you there. He was lovely. I said to Lindsay, Luke's wife, he's like a big cuddly gorilla, but you wouldn't want to get him mad. You're like that. You see these cartoons, you just see bang on there. He's lovely. We love our Luke. Stan Borman did the Fokker joke about the German.
Yeah.
No, his name is. I swapped back to chat. It might be that somebody's put it in there.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't.
His name is Mick, and he does this. He does this where an actor is on the radio, but he's an alcoholic, and he's telling a children's story, and he has a drink every time he tells a bit more of the story. Like, and by the time he gets to the end of it, it's brilliant. He says, "There's the milkman."
What's his name?
Oh, somebody, please.
He's Irish guy, was he?
No, he's Mick. I'm gonna have to.
No, I don't. I'm trying to think. Through my comedians in my head, and I can't. Mick Miller. Yeah, that's what I look like. The clown. Yeah, Mick Miller. Yeah.
God bless the internet. That's what Google's really meant for. Mick Miller. So he does this advert, and he'll go, "There's the sound of the milk bottles outside, children." Oh, he's delivered a bit more milk. And he does this complete routine, and after 10 minutes, he's absolutely kale-eyed, like, you know, telling this children's story. Brilliant. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's a video on YouTube you can watch, or on Facebook. Anyway, lost track of repair shop. Don't know what we're doing with repair shop. I don't know. Well, this might need changing, but
yeah, definitely.
Because I think a lot of this would fall into, if somebody's got a question of how to do something, we'd probably cover it in tools, processes, and procedures. That kind of thing. So I'm gonna look to change this one next week. And what I will say, let's put it this way. Let's open this up then. Let's open this up again. If you've got another category, not topic, because topics fit within categories. If you've got another category you think we could talk about, post it on the Facebook page, please. Not on this one, because I'll end up swapping back to my own YouTube channel and forget that people have posted. Post some, or send it me via Messenger. Is probably the best way, and we'll have another category instead of this. But if you've got a question about a procedure or a process or how you repair something, we'll cover it in tools, techniques, and procedures, and that might boost that, beef that topic out a bit anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. So that was short, wasn't it? Let's move on to what I looked forward to last week, and this was. Oh no, I've missed one. Look at that. So there we've got. This is me talking over the incidental music. I feel Mr. Dare could do like a 20-minute interview on this subject alone. Purchase of the week. Or we ought to call it purchases and donations of the week. I think I'll rephrase that.
Yeah.
Because he could just open a box. Well, him and Laz could open a box each and we'd be sat here 2 years later going, oh, right, okay, that's great, yeah. So, Martin, you must have brought something, because you always do. If you say no now, you're going to really let me down.
Yes, I have bought something, and I think I touched on it the other day. I've been looking. It was by mistake, really. I was looking through the internet a while back now, and I come across this what they call Matchbox Big MX, and I thought, well, what's that all about?
Yeah.
And I looked, and I thought, you know what, that's quite good. If you look it up, Matchbox Big MX, that it's obviously a gimmicky type of thing that they did a long time ago, and they did about, I think it's 1, 2, 3, about 5 sets, 4 or 5 sets. What it basically consists of is like a mini diorama, working diorama, using the Matchbox. I think it's king size. They did a bulldozer one. I'm trying to get it correct because I can't remember it all. There's a bulldozer on a working platform which shovels things around. There's a fire engine with the operating ladder.
I'm just going to interrupt Mark for a second, and I'll try and bring up an image of one so we can. Is that what you talk about, Mark?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Big MX.
Yeah, go on, mate. Carry on.
Yeah, and what they basically do, as you can see on the picture, the guy's got like a mini drill in his hand, and it's a lightweight plastic drill, battery operated, and on the model itself, it's got a couple of plastic notches that they go into, which operate a worm gear, which allows that boom to come up and down, and there's one on the back what allows the thing to swing around. So you're basically building those little buildings that he's got there. And they did about 4 or 5 sets of those. and I bought I bought one like this, but it wasn't complete. So I need to get some extra bits for it. And I bought one of those, and I bought the there's a dustbin cart which goes and tips rubbish into a silo. There's that one, and there is the, like I said, the fire engine. And then there's there's a tipper truck, which you operate with the drill, and it goes up the ramp, and it tips into a conveyor belt, which then takes it onto whatever container you want to put it in. And the most expensive one is the Matchbox King Size 4D600 with a trailer and 3 tractors on it. And what it does, it winches all the tractors separately out of this factory and winches them onto the back of the lorry. And that's the most expensive, most sought after one out of the group.
Oh, I thought
So I saw this and I thought, you know what? That's fascinating. I've never seen one before. I've never even heard of it before. And so I bought some vehicles which were going to the job lot. And I also bought a part set of their crane. I got the crane and I got some buildings for it. So I'll be showing them on my, that one there is the most expensive to buy. As you can see, £249, you know, a lot of money. Yeah.
So that's just gone from the one that I first showed.
Yeah.
There's an increase of £210.
Yeah.
A lot above.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's in mint condition with the box.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I thought I'd try that, get it, and I'll have a look and see if I could, because there's not that many. And I keep looking them up. And the way I'll probably do it, because I wouldn't pay out for a mint box set, because I like to see them and work on them and do a little bit of adjusting. So I'll probably buy them piece by piece or a little bit at a time, you know, when they come up cheap. Because you can, I think there was the base plate for the bulldozer. I've got the bulldozer. I think there's a base plate for it, and I've got the operating drill. I've got that. So it's just a matter of buying it piecemeal. So to me, that's I would say that's what my contribution to what I bought, apart from other stuff that I was gifted. But if I tell you all, you won't watch my video, so I'm not going to tell you all.
I think you just prompted me what the repair shed was about, because let's say that you buy one of those MX kits, and it looks very similar to the racetrack extension, you know, the garage and that kind of thing. So it may be that you buy a part, and you may be a wall missing on one of them buildings.
Yeah.
We could now, because of the technology that we've got, 3D print a spare.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
But you
so
see,
maybe that's what I was thinking with the repair shop. Is there a way that we've got you in the repair shop? You've got a vehicle you can't get a part for. Is there something we can do to help replace that part?
Yeah.
So
you can put that under
about.
repair. You can put it under repair shop subject or another subject. You can use, which would involve the process between saying I want a piece of this, and then the process of somebody either making it or 3D printing it or something like that, or resin casting it, or casting it by hand using a glue guns or whatever, anything like that. Anyway, we're going off topic.
Well, Luke, have you brought anything this week? Purchase of the week this week?
You've seen the paint gun. I'll tell you what I did get. I'm having a bit of a play around, especially at the end of the videos once I've restored the model, obviously. Now, this is a little truck. You put your phone in, and that's hopefully what's going to help me get some steady, slow pass pictures or videos of the model. And it's got 4-wheel steering on it. I've got a better top for this, but I'm using it on my phone at the minute because it's better than this one. So
is it remote control?
No, it's not, mate. No, the electric ones are quite expensive, but that setup there was 30 quid, believe it or not.
I'm having one of them.
But yeah, look, it's good sturdy aluminium and it runs really smooth, so I might get some nice shots with that once the model's done.
I'll send you the link to that.
Hey, I've just
I will
had
do, mate.
an idea. That's just put me on an idea. I've got some Hornby 00 railway track, yeah, and a train, and I've got some flatbed carriages. I can mount a camera on one of them, go slow past, and you wouldn't see it. Eh? Yeah,
So,
yeah, we're on it. We're on. Yeah,
let's try something else now. So basically, if you're in the UK and you've got a 10x20 shed that's completely empty, where Dare can set up his train set, and Samson can bring down his bloody camera kit, and PJ can put it all together in a video light. Yes, the DMC mobile video recording film studio. I don't know what we're going to call it. We'll come up with something.
What was that? What was it? Do you remember if you watch the credits on some of these older films when they come up? Yeah, and some of the names they use for some of the characters, but they used to operate the machinery. There was like Key Grip, and there was the gaffer, and I'm sure there's one of them who operated that truck what goes on rails where they do the mobile filming.
Yeah.
And if you look at the names, I was fascinating me. I said, "What's that bloke do?" You know what I mean? They got second grip, third grip, and I'm thinking, well, what's that all about?
There was I was watching the credits for. I have to admit, I'm a bit of a Doctor Who nut. Not so much recently because I think it's gone downhill a bit, but I was watching the credits, and there was a Paul Jones, and he was the carpenter on the set, and that then let me go in. That let me go. Whenever I watched, because the credits are bloody long. If you're watching Marvel movies, they go on for hours, but you've got to watch them because you want to see the clip at the end or something like that. So I thought, when I look out for my name in the credits, and it's surprising how many times I turn up to these little jobs. Brilliant. I ain't seen a Martin Dare yet. I'll give you that.
No, you won't see one of them, mate. No, they're very rare, mate. But you see, if you watch the film Zulu, there's loads of Joneses in that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, is there a Dan Dare movie where he goes and visits his cousin Martin Dare?
Not yet.
But it's something. It's
in the process. It's in process.
It might be our first DMC collaboration movie. Christ. Yeah, purchases this week. I don't know where that went. Oh God, have I purchased anything this week? I think I've been a good boy. I haven't really. If you'd have come back about 6 months ago, I was purchasing something every day.
No, you will be after when we go
Stafford. Yeah. I mean, I'm a bugger for going to. Lidl's and Aldi's are going through their Christmas festive period at the minute, but I like going down the middle of Lidl when middle of Lidl when Parkside have brought out their latest range of cheap tools, and the amount of hobby stuff that you can find in there for a relatively cheap price is brilliant, and I'll come back and I'll say to the lads like on a Friday night, "Oh, I brought this. I think it might be useful." Or washers, or what's the other one? The rubber rings,
ring.
That we've used as tires, and you can even buy boxes of springs now for like the.
I've got some of them. Yeah, I've got the springs. They're good. They are actually.
You can get springs. You can get the heat shrink, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
Small. Obviously, the Dremel spare parts.
I'm just about to say that the bits they don't last 5 minutes from now. Then.
Yeah,
the price you pay does it matter? Like,
yeah. Well, thing is, you're buying twice, then, aren't you? I've learned my lesson. I just buy decent stuff.
You've got a brutal hand, Luke. You know what I mean? You've not got a light touch.
They're treating like ladies, Clap them about a bit.
It's like climbing up the beanstalk, and there's the giant, and there's his treasure in the background. They're all die-cast cards. Try and knit one, he'll batter you to death.
The cutting discs in there, they're lethal. They are. As soon as you touch the casting, they break and fly off in 1,000 pieces.
I will say the wires can be a bit violent. The wire wheels can be
I bought the cutting discs. I bought got some from Teemu. They seem to be a bit better. But the Dremel ones, the Dremel ones are so expensive. You go in a DIY shop and you buy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're now out of charge.
I can't believe that you're saying an upgrade from Lidl's is Teemu.
Well, no, they just I couldn't. They don't do them in the Lidl's in that box. I've looked, but I've had some what Luke said they fractured. And I tell you what, it's like there's shrapnel flying everywhere when they go. You got to duck. Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, we all wear glasses, so you got a minimal amount of protection on. But
well, actually, when I use them cutting discs from Lidl, I usually put a full face mask on because the buggers fly everywhere when they go.
Very quiet in the chat again. I'm not sure whether we've still got chat going on. So see you, Brian. It's Russ. It's a mugs game. Must just be my fault. Yes, we got to that one. If not, Penelope Salma will do. I think JMO's still going on about his ultimate swap shop exchange. Jerry saying our mail strike may be over soon by the 18th. And Ian is saying, what about Penelope pit stop, JMO? That's probably the closest he will ever get to Penelope Cruz. Penelope pit stop. Right. Purchase of the week. Yeah, I haven't purchased much this week, but I'm always on the lookout down at Lidl's. I've been fortunate. It's been more of a donation than it's been a purchase. So, as I've said already, what I didn't say thank you to Laz. Laz sent me a beautiful little escort, which I love. It's brilliant. If you've only just joined, Martin at the Cardiff, his God-given art, has given me a Mobile 2 Shadow restoration project. Looking forward to working on that. I've got various shades of. This is my original. So sorry if you catch it up, so you can see as me and Ian discussed about UFO models, the different versions because we've got brown and green wheels. So I'm chuffed to bits that it's a variation on the one that I've got, but it is a British. It is a. I'm trying to think what the colour is. It's like a British battle green colour. So I'm looking forward to doing that as a project and getting the mechanism working as well. And we rib each other to death, me and my boy Luke. But he sent me this is just the last two, Martin and Luke. These are class. It's the 66 Batmobile, of course. There's 3 versions of this that have now been reissued, which is with the exhaust flames not coming. How do I put it? They're not moving. The non-animated exhaust. There's the animated exhaust, and there's the satin finish animated exhaust. And now that Luke has given me that one, it's given me guidance on what I want to do with my version. And mine, Luke, will be the satin version because you've graciously supplied me with the gloss version. So that's given me a route to go down. And I'm going to do the satin version with the clear windscreen as opposed to the gloss version with the blue windscreen, if that makes sense. Mine's going to be an hybrid because I still want to use the exhaust moving in and out the back, and I've got a set of these wheels as well. So, and I saw that you're not going to like this, but I saw the dog chewing something by the side of my feet, and she got hold of the packet with the missiles in it and the aerial. You couldn't. Sorry. you wouldn't credit it, would you? I have managed to save the aerial. Thankfully, I can soon 3D print, so please forgive me.
Yeah.
The 3D missiles I can reprint, resin reprint.
You know,
So donations from me rather than purchases. So thank you to both. Oh, I have got. I'll do it next week. This was a nice surprise from Laz that I'll show next week. But it's to do with the Matchbox garage that I've got, and just a finishing touch that I was missing, because I've tried to recreate my own Matchbox garage. And Laz said, "Have you got this part?" And I said, "No." And he said, "I'll send it over." And he sent it over to Martin, and Martin brought it up yesterday. So, wow, that was a lot of waffle, wasn't it? So where are we up to? Purchase of the week, right? Here we go, then, kids. Here we go. I'm going to share our Facebook.
Done that
page.
one. Have we done that one?
Again?
We've done pages.
No,
Just
sorry,
pop
Facebook page. Facebook page.
Yeah,
Isn't
there
it?
we go.
All right.
Facebook page.
Yeah, mate.
It's been a rough, not rough. I'm still getting my crap together from last night. Anyway, let's close some of these pages down. We'll bring up our group Facebook page, and we'll show some of the work carried out by our friends. Now, I don't know we're going to get a Facebook strike for this, but I'll do this next week. Martin, I found the music to the Vision on Gallery.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I hope it's not what I think it is. If it's what I think it is, I'm not watching.
It's the Tony Hart music, you know.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, all right.
No, it wasn't some kind of porn channel music. No, it's the pucker. I don't know whether you'll be able to. I'll play it. I don't know whether you can hear it in the background.
No, I can't. My missus got to tell you on. She's watching a film and I can't hear it very well. But
I'll convert it to an MP3 and we'll play it. Right. So let's get back to what I was talking about, which is our DMC group channel, and we'll skip through some of these and give a shout out to a few of our friends. We've managed to make 2 hours, even though we've scraped through that, so we're close to finishing anyway. So Facebook, let me know if you could see the Facebook page, chaps.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's maximize it if we can. Maximize. That's the best we can get. Right, here we go. I'll try and skip through some of the stuff. So, Corgi Toys Oldsmobile Tornado, and a special word of thanks to Ian Ulley for the new tyres, and that's posted by our friend, Mick Manley. Well done, Mick. There is the Batman 260-piece, really jealous jigsaw puzzle that Mr. Ian Ulley has managed to get hold of. Classic Batman comic book scenery there. Love those kind of paints. That way they've been drawn. Fantastic. What else we got going on here? Who's this from? Howard Duval, our friend in Australia. He's done the latest cab off the rank, Corgi Junior Whiz Wheels Beach Buggy.
nice that is.
Nice, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah.
Lovely.
20. Andy Bourne. Andy's been hard at work. Done this morning's car boot and eBay buys.
Well done, Andy.
Them trailers are nice. Them trucks and
Yeah,
trailers.
yeah. It's 40 wheels on it. Isn't it?
Crikey. What else we got going on here? Our good friend Shane Almyard. I haven't finished what is sitting on my assembly bench, and I go and start another group of corgis and one brass. Never come across a brass one, Mark.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Lightning, isn't it?
They might
P11 Lightning, I think. Yeah.
supervised anyone else do this sort of thing. That's cracking. Look at that.
They're way a bit and all.
Yeah.
You'd really want to get that polished up and put on a stand, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we saw some of them. We saw something
Yeah.
similar, that big Spitfire at Dagfield, didn't we? That was a brass one.
Yeah. Manuel. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the surname. I can only just about manage Jones at this time.
Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice conversion there. I like it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Who's that stranger? Stranger on the shore, exchanging glances. Homemade exhaust, getting there now. Have you considered doing a light kit conversion, Luke?
Yeah, I have, mate. Yeah, I should do it, really.
Yeah. Look at that from Mr. Ian Ollie. Hope everyone is having a good Sunday.
Lovely that.
Right day. Right then, as promised, here we go with today's Dinky Ford Transits. Enjoy. Ian is a great contributor towards the channel. I'm so glad he's joined. He could probably be doing this for the next 10 years on his own, just showing vehicles that he's got.
Now, are they ones he's restored, or are they fresh out the box?
Yeah, restored those.
Did he restore them ones? He'll let us
Yeah.
know in the chat anyway, but only they're lovely, though.
The chat's gone very quiet again. The last one was at 20. We haven't had a message for half an hour. So if people are still online, give us a yay or nay. That'd be good. Kev's doing some nice bangers again.
Yeah.
Works in progress there. Brian, who was just on, he's brought a Kyocera printer to do his decals.
It's a beast, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're looking for, is if you can find any office clearances.
He got that cheap as well, didn't he?
Yeah, 70 quid he paid for that.
Yeah, cheap as chip.
You wouldn't probably buy one of the cartridges for that. I had a look, and they're about £470 second hand.
Yeah, so didn't he say he's getting the refills though? Well, Martin, you know about that anyway, don't you? The recycled cartridges.
Yeah, you get
got some spare kit with it as well. So my entry for the less than 4 challenge, Andrew Aitchison.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like that.
Nice. I've got the. That's similar to the one I've done, but I've done the Triumph and yeah. But nicely done.
Great for that, isn't it? Is that what it's meant? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I've missed that, so I've got to say thank you to that in the chat. There's us advertising our. Have you seen this one, Mart? Just got these rivets from Steve Flowers. Can anyone offer advice on how they are used, e.g., what size holes are required, and how are they pushed in?
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. I think they're the plain steel rivets that you've got to be looking at the standard 2.5 mil drill bit for that, ain't you?
I think the advice would be start with 2. If they don't fit,
you
know what to do. Yeah, go up a scale.
That's nice. Yeah, that's not easy. A nice job of that.
Colin Turner, second completion of the day. This is a replica of my current daily driver. I'm not 100% happy with it. I find this sort of scale a bit small to work on. Yeah, when I first started working on 143 scale, it made all the difference. But it's all I can find at the same model as my real one. But still,
cheap.
Nicely done, Colin.
What was that next to his real car then?
You're talking about the truck?
Yeah, that's nice. That is. That's lovely.
It's heavy, isn't it? It's a heavy truck.
It's beautiful, that.
Pass.
Couple of day vans in the back as well. I like them.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah, they're not day vans. Yeah.
I'd love a pickup truck.
I would.
Jerry keeps sending me the latest Ford pickup truck releases, videos. Man, there's some special vehicles there. Big money, but
you never get one down your street, PJ.
No.
You can imagine you trying to park with a big American pickup truck with double wheels on the back each. Oh my God!
Jerry, interesting. Hot Wheels Fusion Factory Hot. Okay, that's a video to look at. No, that's an interesting post from Shane there about the wheel extraction.
Yeah, good luck with all that.
Yeah. I keep meaning to get one. So if you're working on something like the Captain Scarlet SPV, an ideal tool to just help remove those moon-shaped.
That's a good tool, but there's the other one that I use is it gets in better because that's big square frame can get in the way if you're doing it with the body on, or whatever, can get in the way.
I mean, I started the very first time I ever thought about using something like that. I used a push bike chain puller, which is very similar to that for what you get for a push bike. You put a push bike chain in the grooves and you can screw it down and it's splitter.
Yeah,
that's how I come up with the idea.
I think we've lost the chat, guys. We haven't ended the stream. If somebody could give us a shout out in the chat, just say hello, just to see that the chat is still running, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it.
Shane, is there any watches, PJ?
I haven't got the other screen open.
Oh, it's not on a timer, is it? It's gone off at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but we haven't. Usually, people stick with it until we say.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like the screen normally is at 10.
It's set to go to 10:30, mate. You end the stream manually. You don't. It's not set to a time. What have we got here? Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. Really enjoyed the chat in the tavern last night. You're welcome, Brian. Thank you for joining us. Despite some technical difficulties with my phone, but I announced that I created my first YouTube-based explicitly while I'm here. So that is the channel that I will sign up for after we come off here. And if anyone wants to see it, links are below. Links are below. Let me see if the links are. There is a link that you can click on, and it will take you to Brian's channel, and I will subscribe to that momentarily. Right. I think that nice restoration on the caravan from Johan.
Yeah, that's not. I watched that video earlier on. It's nice. It's nice job of that.
I'm going to say that we're going to call this until I saw a Batmobile. Jerry, my best buddy showed up this week with this for me. It's bigger than the 164 scale, maybe 150-ish. Ooh, don't know.
That's nice.
It's nice, but I do like that little red chain cutter button on the front. It's actually an aerial in the show, but the dinky version, you press that and the chain cutter comes out at the front of the bonnet. Not as I'm being. Now, look at this, Martin. Isn't this what you've been talking about? That's been.
No, that's Matchbox City, isn't it?
Oh, Matchbox City. So Michael's saying for the new and old members in this group, whilst you can buy castings on eBay and the like, or from the flea market, I brought this lots of castings from Ontario Martinez over at Restorer's Dream.
All right. It's always buy and trade, yeah.
Very good. And we'll finish and end on John. Got this morning, Corgi Riley police car and a ProMod police van. Well done, mate.
It looks like that police van looks like the old dinky ambulance, doesn't it? Ambulance.
Yeah, it does.
But mind you, ProMod, they do white metal kits. Pro Mod, because that might be a white metal kit. It looks very similar to the Dinky Town Ambulance, that one.
Yeah, so we're getting no feedback from the chat, which is a little bit concerning. So I'll stop sharing that.
See if we're still live, PJ. Can you do that?
We should be able to go onto YouTube and yeah, it's still live. Yeah, there's 9 watching according to. There's 9 watching. I don't know what's happened to the chat. Anyway, right, okay. Be that as it may, we've managed to overstretch our allotted time by 10 minutes, which I didn't think we were going to do. But hopefully, we'll have a bit more content next week and fill out some of these topics, because now we realise what we created before. Laz and Martin can have a look at one from the vault and one of their restorations. They can choose between whichever they want to do. No pressure there. My thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us, our regulars. My thanks to Martin and Luke and Laz, especially Martin and Luke. This week they've made my weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure joining up with them again, and we had a bit of a party, and it was meeting their wives and family. It's been all good fun, and I brought a pot.
My wife's traumatised now.
Yeah, it's just I've just set a standard now. You've got to top it now. You can't.
Yeah.
So next time, whoever does the next one's got to pay for accommodation, all the food, and everything.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know that we do a swap. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not.
I'll buy the meal.
Yeah.
For a bed for the night. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's last night.
It was great. It was great.
It was absolutely. We came back. We had an hour's chat, didn't we? When we got back, you and Verna, and it was an absolute. We were a bit. I must admit, we were all a bit whacked and battered and tired, like. But
yeah.
You hold on to them precious moments for as long as you can, because it's you never know.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Where the next time might be, without getting too emotional. So thank you for the gifts. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to Laz, who's had to shoot off, and thank you to everybody in the chat. We'll see you in a fortnight with what might be the 22nd or 21st episode. I'm buggered if I know what episode we're on now. I think it's 22nd. We'll sort that out, and we'll sort out some of these topics. So there we go. Thanks to Luke.
Thank you. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks to me. I'm
absolutely shattered.
I'm going to be toast from well past toast time, aren't I?
You are, so I think you've done really well. And we'll see you in a fortnight.
Oh, I did put your toaster back this morning, Pete, after I'd used it.
You know, I've never seen the kitchen look so clean, and I hadn't even been in there. So yeah, we had a fun night.
Yeah,
so
we had a
this
ball.
is me signing off, and on behalf of the boys, we'll see you in a fortnight.